Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video I'm going to go over the top 10 4K Steelbooks released in 2023. Okay, physical media fans, we are nearing the end of another year, so I thought I would go over my top 10 4K Steelbooks released in 2023. Now, as you all know, when a studio releases something on 4K, it's typically in the form of either a standard or slipcover, but occasionally we all like to get a steelbook that sort of, scratches that collectible itch. Whether it is a wide release like Paramount tends to do, or it's an exclusive to a retailer such as Best Buy, which unfortunately Best Buy will not be going forward with physical media into 2024 and beyond. So looks like a lot of those are going to be handled by Walmart or Amazon or, some other thing that has yet to be determined. But for me, I like a good steelbook because in my opinion, many times I feel the steelbook artwork is more superior to the slip. So for this top 10, it's going to focus purely on the artwork itself and the design of the steelbook. I'm not going to talk about the picture or the audio quality. That will be a separate video in a few short days. But this is really just celebrating the packaging itself and what we have gotten over the past year. And of course, this is going to be my list. Yours will be very different, but I do, as always, encourage you to put in the comment section below, what would your personal top 10 best steelbooks of 2023 be? All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. Paramount has been slowly but steadily releasing all the Scream films on 4K, and thankfully they've been given steelbooks. But for the newest theatrical release of Scream 6, I really appreciate the design of how this turned out. Of course, the whole movie set in the city of New York, which is a vast departure from what we've gotten in previous films. And I think that the artwork really reflects that here. You get the subway car, and it's just, it's good. It gives you a sense of where the movie takes place and what to expect. I really like the design. I think this is definitely one of the better ones that Paramount has released. They also did release Scream 3 this past year, which, shockingly enough, looked good as well. I was a little, hesitant about the red coloring, but it turned out nice. But Scream 6, this steelbook, I think, is worthy of mention for the top 10 of 2023. For my number 9 pick, this is another release from Paramount and one that I was very excited that was getting a 4K at all, let alone a steelbook. But Dragon Slayer, I think Paramount did an excellent job on this release. Not only did we get a steelbook, but a slipcover to match, and it gives you two different, variants for one. I mean, really, I just appreciate the artwork on the slip and on the interior case. It's got a nice shine to it, and I just love this fantasy. Whenever a fantasy movie gets a 4K release, I'm always happy, but how it's designed on the steelbook, I think it's implemented very well. This is a really good offering. I highly recommend you check out the Steelbook edition if you're going between the slip and the steel. This is the one I would go for, and it is easily one of my favorites of 2023. My number 8 is going to be a default go-to for which version to get because the slipcover is so awful. I'm talking about The Exorcist, the original film. I do not know what they were thinking with the slip, but unless it was the same, I was going to go with the steelbook either way. But as it turns out, I really love how it looks. Of course, you have, the possession featured full front center on the cover. It's got a nice, I just love the blue hue to it. It's very creepy and atmospheric. Once again, leagues better than what we got on the slip. I mean, I still don't know what they were thinking, but I mean, the Exorcist Steelbook, it is one of my favorites of 2023. I really like it, and it is a Best Buy exclusive. So whether you're able to get your hands on it or not nowadays, who knows, but I absolutely love this one. For my number 7 pick, this is one that I liked the artwork from the initial reveal, but when I got it in person, I just love the message and the image that it conveys. Oppenheimer, director Christopher Nolan's Opus from this past year, as a steelbook, I feel is really in the top 10 of 2023. You look at it and it's so enigmatic. It really has such a presence. And I could look at this one and just come away with a lot of different thoughts. I really like how this turned out. Walmart did an Icon edition, which I felt was okay. And of course, the slipcover is a standard slipcover artwork type thing. But for me, Oppenheimer, the Steelbook, is one of the best of 2023, and it's got just something about it that the other two editions don't have visually. But I recommend, if you're able to, hunt this one down. I think a lot of collectors would agree that when something is released on physical media, a lot of times we appreciate it when it has the original artwork with it. And more often than not, it doesn't seem to happen. But the Superman 5-film collection, released by Warner Brothers earlier this year in one set, I think it did a great job, not only giving you something new with the outer shell, but the original artwork on the Steelbooks individually. I think it's a great win-win situation. I love the shine of the Steelbooks themselves. I mean, they all look really, really good. And I am a huge fan of these films to begin with. And that they've been given a good physical Steelbook release, I think speaks volumes to the respect that they were given. I am a big fan, of course, of how this looks. But yeah, I think the Superman 5-film collection from 2023 is one of the best of the year. It seems this past year in particular, there's been a little bit of a bug in the machine as to some titles getting simultaneous release on both a slipcover and a Steelbook. Warner Brothers is one of those studios, whether it's underestimating demand of something, but they've been making good, at least giving us Steelbooks eventually. So for this pick, my number 5, Evil Dead Rise, I really like how the Steelbook looks. It was actually released day and date, I believe, in the UK with their slip, but here in the States, it came out a couple months later. It's just kind of an odd thing. But also, this is one of the cases where I really like the artwork on the slip as well, but something very unsettling about the art on the Steelbook just really grabbed me, and I had to add this to the collection. Once again, I think both versions are really good to get, no matter which one you choose. But for Steelbook collectors, I feel that the Evil Dead Rise Steelbook is worth owning and one of the best of the year. This next one was offered in the UK. It was not available here in the States, but it is one of my favorites of 2023. The Maltese Falcon from the UK, I think, is one of the best Steelbooks, hands down, of 2023. Occasionally, that's one of the things we have to run into as physical media collectors. If you want special packaging, you do have to get it from overseas sometimes, but I think for this one, it really is worth the money, and I love it. I just love the embossing on the lettering in the door image here. And of course, it on the back also. They could have been very lazy and not did that, but I think it's also on the back that really you get that extra texture. But the design, I loved it. I think it's really worth picking up. I love the film, and getting the Steelbook, in my opinion, is one of those must-haves. It is a fantastic Steelbook presentation, not just for artwork, but design. So yes, the Maltese Falcon on 4K, the Steelbook, is easily one of the best of the year. In my opinion, Lionsgate is one of the top studios releasing 4K Steelbooks out there of all the major studios. And for their 4K release of Fall, I just loved the implementation of the slipcover versus the actual Steelbook itself, because you get that daytime scene. It's clearly visible. You see what's happening, and then you take off the slip, and you get the same scene at night. Something about this is just cool. It's really like getting two covers for the price of one. I just love how this turned out. It's got a good, A and B here going for it, and it's just I really think that whoever's over at Lionsgate designing these, they know what the fans want, and I think they're some of the best in town. But yeah, the Fall 4K Steelbook Edition, one of the best of the year, and it's worth picking up if you can find it. For my number 2 pick, I honestly didn't think we were going to get this Steelbook here in the States, because you started seeing images of Germany getting the Steelbook, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm fully prepared to import it. But surprise, surprise, Universal gave us the Steelbook edition of Megan, and from not only from the artwork but design perspective, this is definitely one of the best of 2023. I just love how you get that. It looks like packaging for Megan herself. If you were to put her on a shelf and sell her to the public, that's really what the Steelbook is. And then you get the inside. It goes a little bit of the extra mile with the interior arts, which we always appreciate when they add that. But I just love how the Steelbook looks, and it's got that nice texture to it. And it's really, I can't think of anything wrong with the Steelbook at all. Big fan of it. One of my favorites of 2023. And versus the Slip, this one is no contest. Steelbook all the way. And before I get to my number one, just a note, if you're a Patreon member, I'm going to be posting a video in a few short days about some of the worst looking Steelbook artwork that was released in 2023. So once again, if you're a Patreon member, head on over there and check out that video. So for my number one best 4K Steelbook of 2023, that is going to go to another Lionsgate release of Young Guns. Once again, the slipcover edition of this is fine, but not only do you get a really decent Steelbook, but another story is told when you have the additional slipcover on top of it. If this one would have had the actual holes in the slip, I think this would have been really kind of like next level. But it's still featured as art on the slip. But when you reveal it, you get a really good looking image. It's got a nice shine to the steel. And I am a huge fan of Westerns. To see a good Western like this given a 4K Steelbook from Lionsgate, I think it's really a great testament to the respect that the movie got. They could have just shipped this out in a slip and called it a day. But the Steelbook artwork, in my opinion, is easily the best of 2023. And it is one that I highly recommend you add to your collection. So those are my top 10 4K Steelbooks released in 2023. Now it's your turn in the comment section below. Let me know what your top 10 best artwork for the year is. And also, don't forget that I've got upcoming videos for the best of picture quality audio for new releases and catalog titles on 4K. Look for those videos coming very shortly. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.